DJ, you go crazy.
DJUTV, let them know who we got in the building.
It's Mama K.I. on the scene.
Mama K.I., what you on, gang?
Man, I'm ganging it up with the red cup. Can't do nothing but gang all day long.
Well, welcome to DJUTV. It's definitely a blessing to have you. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. Thanks for having me, DJ.
For sure. Well, you know, we hear about a young lady named K.I. so much throughout the blogs, interviews, even rap songs, right?
Yep.
And you know, she's not here to, you know, tell her side of the story. We've interviewed her brother, shout out G.I. Joe. But I was just trying to get into some real Chirac history, and you came to my mind. So I'm so glad that you came to sit on our couch tonight and share with us your story.
No problem.
So can we take it from the top, Mama K.I., and can you tell us where you from?
I'm from 63rd, originally, Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois, 60637.
Okay, 63rd.
63rd.
Is that the famous 63rd we hear about all the time?
That's the famous, infamous 63rd. Yes, it is.
So 63rd to King Drive?
No. We from St. Lawrence.
Oh, my bad.
Yep, the FBG movement.
STL.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
My grandma owned a house over there for like 60 years. So that's St. Lawrence.
Really?
Yeah.
So can you tell us what it was like for you growing up over there?
Pretty much it was like the same, but it wasn't as drastic as it was for the millennial kids. But, you know, I went through, you know, phases where, you know, I was a young child, being in shootouts with my daddy and, you know what I'm saying, seeing drugs being sold, seeing prostitution, all that, you know. So it wasn't the era that my kids grew up in. It wasn't nothing new. It was just that it was just going, you know, to the 10th power with it, you know. You know, man probably was on power 4 or 5, but once the 90s and the 2000 hits, it was like to the 10th power with everything, with the gangs, with the drugs, with the guns. You know, I got a gun case, you know what I'm saying, when I was young, you know, stuff like that, you know, but it is what it is when it come down to it.
So when you was growing up, your parents were in the streets?
For sure.
Both of them?
Yep.
Okay. And how many siblings do you have?
I got 5 siblings.
Okay.
Yep.
And where do you fall within the bunch?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
Yep.
So you big sis?
Yep.
Okay. Everybody.
I'm mama and big sis.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So tell us about the mama part. You had to raise your brothers and sisters?
A little bit. You know, like I say, parents in the street. So you know what I'm saying. A lot of times I was taking care of mama duties with the feeding the kids and, you know, making sure they looking proper to go to school, stuff like that. None too major. They was always there, but, you know, when it came down to the streets, you know, that was part of their priorities too.
Right.
You know, it wasn't nothing major, but yeah, I stepped in.
Okay. And so you come from a family of 5, and you've had 5 kids yourself, correct?
I did.
Okay. How old were you when you had your first child?
I was 18.
Okay. And can you tell us what that was like, your first pregnancy? Which child was that?
That's my oldest son. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna mention no names, but that's my oldest son. He the oldest over G.I. and K.I.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, I had him first. You know, I was kind of, like I said, I was in the streets myself. Mm-hmm. So like when I had him, the age of 18, young, I had been to the county jail a couple times, you know, like caught a case and, you know, but when I had my first son, you know what I'm saying, I just knew that street shit, that ain't what I wanted to do. You know, I got a son to raise, you know what I'm saying, and I ain't want to be locked up for the rest of my life or, you know what I'm saying, somewhere dead, you know. So he kind of changed my priorities as far as getting out the streets and, you know, being a mother to my child.
Right.
Yeah, and then like a year and a half later, I had K.I. and G.I., so now I got 3 kids in Pampers. So that definitely, my mindset just totally kind of really changed after that because, you know, not only did I have twins, I got one that's like 9 months older than them, and everything got to be for them now. I can't live for me no more. Even though the money was coming fast with the drugs and the streets, but I couldn't live like that, and I didn't want my kids to live like that.
Yeah. So I'm hearing that, you were involved in the streets at a young age yourself. Your parents were, so it sounded like this the cloth that you come from.
Right. Kind of pretty much a product of your environment.
Right.
I didn't ask to be here. Who asked to be here? Who asked to be born into this or into something like that? Nobody. But when you can't do nothing but adapt, because it's either you gonna fold or you gonna roll. So it was like we had to roll, Yeah. But as you get older, you do realize your mindset change and you realize I have choices. I can, either make the choice to keep going the wrong route or I can, straighten up and, get it right.
Yeah. So just looking back, probably, I don't want to, put your age out there, but just looking back, 20, 30 years ago, right? Can you just give us a crazy Ki mama story growing up on 63rd? What's some of the mess you was getting into?
Man, we had the clucks coming around or the hypes and, trying to take off with the bags and the stuff like that. We might have to shake some and, we got to get down on a hype or something, you know what I'm saying? Or get somebody some work and they done ran off with the work and, now we got to get down for the money or the work, So, yeah, crazy story, 63rd, St. Lawrence, Steve's Liquors, we got down on a female one time, she ended up pulling out a box cutter, sliced one of my girls in the face. So, what I'm saying, we had to stomp her till it was no more stomping, at that point. But yeah, crazy. That was one of the crazy stories. My girl got cut though. So, I never forget that. That was kind of like a traumatization for me,
Right.
Yeah.
And she's still with us, Scotts today.
Still with it, but it looked good. They fixed up good. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they fixed up real good.
So, did you grow up around the same time in the same area with Mama Duck? Did y'all grow up together?
Yeah, we didn't grow up together.
Okay.
She was from the low, but they had people all over. But once we had kids, and our kids was like in the teens, like her daughter, her son, the rapper, they moved to that area. Actually, on that block, they moved on that block. So like right down the street, across the street. So by me already kind of knowing the people from the low end and Ida B. Wills and all of them, it wasn't none. We clicked, bam. My kids was clicking anyway. So, it wasn't none for me and Mama Duck to click. That's my girl,
Right.
Yeah, her daughter fought my daughter, fought Ki, and her son fought GI before. Like,
really?
Sister, brother gonna fight. Yeah, they had a fist fight before in the hood, when they were shorties. But yeah, we always remain cool. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I ain't got nothing but love for Mama Duck.
That's what's up. Okay, so now going back to when, you was having your kids. You told us about the first one, and then 9 months later is when you had your twins.
Right.
G.I. and K.I.
Right.
Boy and girl.
Right.
Who was born first?
I want to say G.I. G.I. was born first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then K.I. came how many minutes later?
She was 13 minutes later.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty close, right? For twins?
Yeah. He was like 6:17 p.m. She was like 6:30 p.m. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
K.I. being born at 6:30 p.m. and being from 63rd is crazy.
Yeah, ain't it crazy? There. It's crazy. A lot of subliminals. It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us though about K.I. as a child.
Man, K.I. was a sweet child. She always been like a tomboy though, because she had 2 big brothers. So if they was jumping off the roof, she gonna jump off the roof too. You know what I'm saying? Put on the Easter dress, come back in, it's looking like I got it from the rummage sale, rolling around in the dirt. like I say, jumping off garages, jumping over fences, you know. So she was real sweet. She was a sweet girl, but she was just kind of tomboyish. You know, she ain't like ponytails and barrettes and stuff like that. I used to make her, you know what I'm saying, put on skirts and dresses, but she was so tomboyish, you know what I'm saying, she couldn't really get that up out of her. But yeah, as a young child, she was real sweet. She was smart. You know, she went to like prestigious schools. You know what I'm saying? I paid money per year for my kids to go to these certain schools. So, you know what I'm saying? She was real smart, like knowledgeable about a lot of stuff. You know, some stuff I probably would have never figured out in my grammar school or high school days. But she was real smart girl.
Right.
Real smart, pretty too.
Yeah.
Pretty too.
Yeah, for sure.
I used to tell her, you a pretty girl, but you're an ugly boy, you know. So we used to joke about that.
Yeah.
When she put on her little Timbs and her button-ups. And, you know, I used to be like, man, I don't like that look. But as a female, you know what I'm saying, you top notch. Something like your mama, you know.
Right.
Right.
And so when I was doing my research, I learned that Kayah's father died just a few months after she was born, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
This happened Easter Sunday, 1997.
Right.
He was gunned down in front of his home.
Right.
Okay. Can you tell us the type of guy Kayah's father was?
He was a decent guy, you know what I'm saying? He really ain't bother nobody, you know, unless somebody bother him. But, you know, kind of got caught up in that street stuff, you know, in his area and that little gang stuff, you know. Word was he got out on a nigga, you know what I'm saying, fist fighting. The nigga couldn't take the ass whooping, you know what I'm saying, came back blasting, you know. So, you know, with that happening, it just kind of, you know what I'm saying, put a hole in me a little bit, you know. So yeah, and then, you know, it was Easter Sunday, you know what I'm saying. I had took the kids, you know, to some family members earlier that day. I was gonna take them back over to him, and then, you know, I got a phone call saying, you know, this so-and-so, we need you down at Cook County Hospital, you know. So yeah, that happened a couple months later.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is you have experienced some trauma in these Chicago streets.
For sure.
And thank God you still here to at least share your experiences with us.
Yeah.
You're able to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know? And shout out to you for having the strength and the courage to talk about these things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's going on 10 years, you know, with my daughter, but I think with a lot of mothers that lose their children this way or to the streets, period, you don't really get a grieving process, you know, like just alone, and because everybody don't want you to be alone, and everybody is you okay, and, you know, break down and that. But, you know, because I never really, to this day, never really got that grieving process, you know, so it just comes in waves where, like, today I might be good, her birthday I might not be good or something like that. But I know she keeping me strong, you know what I'm saying? Like, after that happened, everybody wanted me to fold and break, and, you know, but I couldn't do it. I got other kids, you know, I got 5, so, you know, I know she keeping me strong, you know what I'm saying? I hear in my ear, like, man, OG, you know what I'm saying, you got this. She used to always say, OG, call me OG. If she wasn't saying mine, she's saying OG. Right. But, you know, she keeping me strong. And over the last 10 years, you know, it don't get no better. Like they say, time heals, and, you know, it really don't. Because, you know, with the feeling when it come through to you, it be like it happened yesterday. Yep. You know, even though 10 years is a long time, but the feeling, like I can remember the phone call, I can remember getting to the scene, I can remember the doctors coming out in Northwestern saying, pronouncing her dead, said we couldn't save her, like the look on their face, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I even had dreams, and, you know what I'm saying, different, you know, thoughts and stuff about it, you know, because when it hits you, it's like it just happened, you know. But yeah, it's been a minute though.
Word. And I'm glad you're sharing your perspective, right? Because as I stated earlier, we hear about her name so much, but we don't know how this affects the family. We don't know how the family really feel. We
Right.
just scrolling and liking and commenting and keeping it
Right.
going.
Right.
But this is something that you have been dealing with for the last 10 years this month, make. How do you cope with dealing with, grief?
Well, over the years, I lost a lot of people that I love. So, when it's a child, it kind of hit different, but I kind of look to my other kids, you know what I'm saying, to help me cope, and bring my spirits up. And then, sometimes I get on the internet and look at videos and, pictures of her and stuff like that. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it just make it worse. But just depending on what type of reaction I'm having off of it, just depending on how I cope. So if I'm like real sad, I might bring the obituary back out. I might look through some videos just to hear her voice and, something like that. Or, I might talk to her twin, like, laugh with him or something for a moment.
Right.
Just depending on what type of wave it hit me at the time.
Right. So what are your thoughts of like K.I., her name is just as big as like a Chicago rapper.
Right.
But she never made a rap song.
Right.
But it's like these drill fans, they just so fascinated with the stories about her. With you being a mother, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I like to, like the people who really don't know, that's like from somewhere else, but so fascinated with everything that from that era and that hood and her, like, I just want motherfuckers to know, like, it ain't really like it's a facade because people live this real life, but it ain't just all what they think it is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you get in the field, it's hard to get out the field. You know what I'm saying? Once they say you in, only way out is, you know what I'm saying? So it ain't just all we making drill music, we got guns in the video. People living everyday life, you know what I'm saying, like that, where they gotta go outside strapped up, you know what I'm saying, where they gotta watch every car riding past and stuff like that. So a lot of people, I be wanting them to know, like, man, y'all could comment and do all that. I take all the backlash, you know what I'm saying, because I lived it. So all the backlash and comments you want to give me, I'm all for it, because you don't know what I've been through. Everybody got a story. Some stories are more amazing than others, where people, I can't believe that, and stuff like that. And then, people want to point the finger, oh, you a bad mother and this and that. And my kids, never went without nothing. They didn't have to go rob none of that. They didn't have to do none of that. Anything they, that transpired that wasn't under a godly effect, they didn't have to do none of that. They never went without eating. They never had the lights off. They never went without clothes and shoes. You know what I'm saying? I kept a car, a crib, and a job, what a black woman's supposed to do, with or without a man. I kept a car, a crib, and a job. So, they didn't never have to be out there in the streets for no reason at all. So some of the choices they made, that she made, kind of like was of her own effect. You know what I'm saying? There was no real reason. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm broke. Oh, my mom ain't give me this. It wasn't no reason for like that. But it's easy for people to comment and point the finger, which I understand. I'm not mad at them, because I know what I lived. I know what I did. I know how I lived, so yeah.
So with you, obviously being the mom, and that's your baby, can't nobody tell you nothing about your baby, right?
For sure.
But can you tell us, like, when were like the early stages where you were kind of like learning, like, okay, this girl, she might just be something else?
I want to say maybe at about age 12, I started seeing like a change. You know what I'm saying? Change in appearance, change in the group she was hanging with, change in the music she was listening to. A lot of small changes, but when she was, dressed like a boy, you know, put on, you know, or whatever, or start messing with females. I was like, oh, okay, so you trying to go this route. You know what I'm saying? I ain't knock her, you know what I'm saying, for nothing she did. I ain't condone none of it neither. But if your child come to you and say, hey, I want to be this or that, you still gonna love that child. You know, you gonna try and guide them the right way, but you still gonna love them no matter what they turn out to be. Right. You gonna love them regardless. That came from your womb. You know, that was cut from your core, so you gonna love that child regardless.
For sure.
Yeah.
So around 12, you say her appearance started changing, and that's like puberty, you know.
Yeah.
When preteen, you know, a lot of kids start to learn what they really like and what they into, their interests and hobbies.
Yep.
And at this time, K.I. was dressing like a boy. She was, you know, obviously listening to, well, I'm gonna assume listening to a lot of gangster rap.
Yep.
Right. And somehow, some way, she became known as this female assassin, what the Chicago Sun-Times or somebody would call it, right? And major networks like A&E, you know, picked up a story, did a whole documentary on her.
Right.
So like I stated before, this name K.I. became bigger than some of Chicago rappers, right? So for you, after you learned that, you know, this is who she becoming, can you tell us when did it kind of like spiral out of your control to where you was like, okay, you know?
I want to say it started spiraling at about 14, 15. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it started at like 12. So, you know, I used to do stuff like try and get her locked up, take her down to Heart Grove mental institution, keep her for 30 days, you know, try and do stuff like that, you know. Then it kind of got to the point, because, you know, the system only can help you so much if they haven't actually done nothing. So kind of like at, say like 14, 15, it kind of started getting real rowdy type, like, you know what I'm saying? Where, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I let her go, but I just kind of stayed prayed up and kind of put it in the Lord's hand. But at the same time, she was a child that was coming home every night. So I would talk to her, you know, mention like, hey, this going on in the streets, this, that, and the other, you know. And when she got to about that age, I want to say like 15-ish or so, that's when she got that I don't give a fuck attitude.
Okay.
So before then, it was kind of like I care, you know, but like 14, 15, I think she took a couple hard L's, you know what I'm saying?
She lost
a couple good friends, like brothers she grew up with. Right. And she kind of just like with that, she kind of was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no more love. And, you know, she loved her family. But as far as being out there, it was like, I don't give a fuck. You know, it whatever happened. Like, and I used to be like, girl, I don't want to bury you. And, you know what I'm saying? This, that, and other. And so-and-so just got killed. And don't be, you know. But, you know, she had got it made up within herself. Like, that's it. I don't give a fuck. She had them couple L's she took kind of like 2-3 hard L's. You know what I'm saying? We're losing a couple of the guys in the hood. And that really shook her. Like, it changed her to kind of turned her heart cold towards everything out there. So, you know, I can kind of understand with losing somebody close and you love, and you know what I'm saying? So when that happened, it was just like that put her in a mad state of just not giving a fuck about that street shit.
Yeah. So when she, you know, passed away a couple years after age 17, obviously this was a devastating moment in your life, you know. But can you tell us, how did it affect the whole family, like the rest of your kids, you know, her siblings, you know?
Yeah, like her twin, of course. You know, he was devastated, you know what I'm saying? He was away at the time, but he did come to the funeral and stuff like that. But yeah, like her older brother, her twin, her older brother, it hit them pretty hard, you know what I'm saying? And then like You know, my younger siblings, it hit them hard as well. You know, they understood, but they didn't really, you know what I'm saying? They just knew like she was gone, but like the older ones, they really understood. So it kind of affected them a lot, you know what I'm saying? It affected my whole entire family, like extended family, aunties, cousins, you know what I'm saying? Even my close friends who I went to grammar school with, high school with, you know, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, ex-boyfriends, and, you know, it affected a lot of people. A lot of people was, you know, just like, damn, you know, and then like I had a couple friends, you know what I'm saying, I used to be telling them like, you know, my daughter, you know what I'm saying, they used, oh, it can't be that bad. And then when that happened, they was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know it was like that. I was like, I was trying to tell you that, you know what I'm saying, it was like that, you know. But yeah, it affected a lot of people, you know.
Yeah. Definitely it's like one of those pivotal deaths in our, you know, community, in our city, in our, you know, Chicago culture, you know.
Right.
And it's 10 years ago, you know, 10 years ago next week. When you hear about who was responsible for the untimely death of your daughter, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, kind of when it first happened, I already knew who was responsible from everybody being out there, because she wasn't the only one that was out there. It was like 20 people on the scene. So from jump, I had knew who it was. The internet and the world ain't know who it's supposed to be in, allegedly, until FBI dropped the files, public record. But in the beginning, I knew, you know, my, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no hatred or none of that towards nobody. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel either way swayed about it. Like, you know, cause losing a child, period, at, you know, whatever point of age or however, it's hurt. You know what I'm saying? My heart goes out to the mother, you know, and the family and the kids, you know, cause they the ones, you know, gonna be affected by it. But I didn't feel either way about it. You know, I honestly had, before the untimely death of the person, I honestly had forgave the person in my heart. You know, I used to tell people, I ain't mad at my daughter. I ain't mad at the killer. I ain't mad at nobody. You know, this is, you know, this life. It's a sad, you know what I'm saying, situation and, you know, circumstance, but it's life. Like, you know, so I wasn't mad. You know, I didn't feel me holding hatred in my heart what helped me to heal. So I wasn't mad at nobody. I wasn't, you know, when I found, you know, when I heard who it was from the jump, you know, I was like, all right, you know, so a lot of when it came out to public, a lot of motherfuckers just like, oh no, that ain't true, you know, they got the, I guess, public record where it's in FBI files. Oh, and then, you know, motherfuckers would come to me like, oh, so-and-so did this to your daughter, and oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying, I told y'all that from the jump, you know what I'm saying, I told the homicide detectives, you know what I'm saying, who it was and where they was at, you know, and even though after her death, stuff still went on, you know, because I don't know if they weren't doing their job or what was going on, but it was still stuff going on, you know. So, you know, I you know what I'm saying, I don't, you know, I pray for everybody, you know, you, me, them, you know. So I don't feel like a certain kind of way where I want to be like F so and so and this and that, you know. It's just, you know, it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. There was obviously a lot of speculation about, you know, who did it. And, you know, the news had came out not too long ago.
Right. About probably a couple years ago.
Right. Mm-hmm. After the, you know.
Because actually, the documentary, the person was in the documentary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's crazy. Like, then now that part kind of pissed me off a little bit.
That had to tweak you out,
right? Now, I ain't gonna lie. That right there, that part, it kind of pissed me off. Kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like at the time, a person was laughing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, trying to act like they wasn't involved in it. You know, it was just like, now that part pissed me off. But, you know, because at first, you know, when they was like, it's a documentary coming out, you know what I'm saying? Because A&E ain't reach out to me about it.
Okay.
So that's why I wasn't involved. So whoever they talked to, that's who they reached out to. But my number ain't changed in 15 years. So I don't know why not. But, you know, they was like, yeah, it's a documentary coming out. So at first I didn't want to watch it because I was like, you know what I'm saying? So it took me a while, but I watched it all the way through. And when I did, and I synced that portion of it, I just was like, you got to be bullshitting me. Like, for real? And then, you know what I'm saying, the statements that the person was making, like, you know what I'm saying, I tried to holler at a motherfucking ooh. So you mean to tell me you was going to fuck a stud? You was going to fuck with a stud? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's the only part I could say that kind of like made me just, you know, kind of But, you know, if I watch it right now today, it don't even bother me like that no more. But when it first initially aired and, you know what I'm saying, it came out, I was a little ticked about that.
Yeah.
I was a little ticked, but, you know, time went on. It don't even bother me no more.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing was like the audacity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna have the audacity? You know what I'm saying? These people done reached out to you because somebody had to reach out to you and say, we doing this, woo, woo. And I know for sure the only reason they reached out to the person is because they knew the person was allegedly involved. So I think all that was a setup. You know what I'm saying? The person is allegedly involved. You know, this the word on the street. The person is allegedly involved. Let's reach out to this person and see what they have to say. So I think that was a setup, overplay for the underplay. Like, and I don't even know why the person fell for no goofy ass shit like that. You know, they know what the fuck going on. They gonna have you come on national TV and say, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I already knew like that was a whole type of what you want to say, like not viewers, but like airtime and, you know what I'm saying, broadcasting thing and make it big and we got so-and-so on here, you know.
That was ratings.
Ratings. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but you know, that was some ratings type shit because they knew who the fuck they was interviewing. For
sure.
And they knew what the involvement supposed to be in. So,
sure.
Yeah. But yeah, it ticked me off in the beginning, but now I could watch it over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, other stuff in there they was talking about, a lady who was like a gang girl herself was in there, you know what I'm saying? It was other, you know, people on there too. So yeah, it don't bother me like that. But initially, yeah, that kind of like put a sting.
I can imagine, you know.
Yeah, that did.
I can imagine knowing that this is the person that's responsible for my daughter's death and he's on A&E. That's a major cable network.
Right.
But even still, I wouldn't give a damn if he was on Instagram or ABC. It don't matter, you know.
Right.
The fact that he sat on camera and talked about it, I can understand how that would have made you or anybody that's, you know, close or related to K. Albert Field.
Right.
But I want to salute you one more time on your strength because I'm picking it up right now.
Thank
you know,
you.
as
Thank
you talking to me about it and walking me through it, you know.
Thank you.
You are a very courageous person. So when the news came out that this is who was responsible, did you like feel any sense of justice satisfaction knowing that, you know, okay, they finally, you know, let it be known?
Yeah, I felt like just a relief, like that the world knew. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't just some that the hood was making up. You know what I'm saying? The world gonna know now. You know, that I felt like, okay, but my whole thing was, I guess they had to wait to the after effect, because why y'all just ain't say that from the beginning?
Right.
You know, and you had caught the person before with the same murder weapon that they used for my daughter. Why you just ain't say that before? You know what I'm saying? Or why you didn't even take them into custody on the sense of that? You know, so like I say, I don't know if somebody dropped the ball, somebody wasn't doing their job, or it was all a whole setup to take my daughter out. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole lot of conspiracy theories I think about, you know, because I was hearing a lot of stuff in the hood. You know what I'm saying? And seeing and knowing a lot of stuff from the hood. So, you know.
Because I heard about one conspiracy in which you felt like the police probably dropped Gakirah off in the alley
Yeah, they dropped off in O Block before.
Right.
They literally.
And that's something that the police do.
Yeah, they literally like picked her up off the block, fuck with her, rode her around for a minute, but when they took her in O Block and they told her get out the car. And she like, man, I'm not getting out in here, you know, and they made her get out. Yep. And of course, you know what I'm saying, they knew she ain't had nothing on her because they searched her before she got in the car. And she like, I'm not finna get, so she ended up getting out. So once she got out, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna lie, she took off. She took off running back to the block. You know what I'm saying? And told the guys, like, man, these bitch ass niggas just dropped me off in there. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I say, like, it's crazy how everything went, because it was like, you know what I'm saying, the police was doing shit, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I don't know if they was just targeting, you know what I'm saying, the EBT boys and the STL boys and all, you know what I'm saying, the FBG. You know what I'm saying? But y'all letting these other people over here do all this other stuff. Ain't nobody running up in there locking nobody up. They come blowing at them. They go blowing back, but y'all locking our people up. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, what the fuck really going on? You know, is this some New Jack City type shit? You know, but yeah, it went down with a lot of it about it, you know, but, you know, I want to say like a week or two, like maybe 2 weeks before her death, they had a road on the block. So it was another incident involved with the police, you know what I'm saying, murdered someone in the area. So, you know, they had on some like FCPDK shirts, you know what I'm saying? So she had on one. So, you know, they rode on the block. The officer was like, take that shirt off. She was like, I'm not taking nothing off. You know, they got down on her, take that motherfucking shirt out now. Ooh, made us come up out her whole shirt. She ain't have on nothing but a bra, a sports bra. You know what I'm saying? Now she out there, no shirt on. So one of the guys gave her a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? They took the shirt off, ripped it up, stomped it all on the ground. You know, it ain't no FCPDK and all that, you know. So, you know, that incident I felt like was a violation of human rights. You gonna make me get naked in the street for what? I ain't got nothing on me. You ain't caught me with no drugs, no guns. I ain't doing, I'm standing out here with my people. So I'll end up going down to police headquarters like 2 weeks, like a week and a half or two before that happened. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna file a complaint with the Fraternal Order of Police. You know what I'm saying? And then they was like they was sending me through all types of, you know, you got to go here and you got to do that and this and that and this and that, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of left it alone, you know what I'm saying? But I know what happened, you know what I'm saying? I went right down on 35th, man, to the headquarters. I want to file a complaint on such and such officer. You know, they gave me the runaround with it. So after I seen they was giving me the runaround with it, I'm like, I see what this is, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of left it alone, you know, and then like, week and a half later, you know what I'm saying, this happened to her, you know what I'm saying? Then at the time that it happened, that happened to her on the 64th end, like towards 65th.
So going south.
Yeah, so she at the end of the block, like the last numbers, 40-something, 50-something.
Right.
But she walked past a police car, which was sitting at the other end of the block, the north end of the block, 64th Street.
Okay.
When this happened, they come through, whatever, shots rang out. The police, you at the other end of the block. You know, Chicago block's not really that long. You can run down the block in less than 2 minutes. And it's like, how y'all ain't catch this person? He hit my daughter 7 times. He hit my daughter 7 times. He hit Butta 1 time. But he had let off more shots than that. It's just that what had hit. Because matter of fact, he hit Butta 1 time. He hit one of the guys on the porch in the foot 1 time. He hit my daughter 7 times. So you couldn't bag up, because they was at the other end of the corner. You couldn't bag up and came down the block, and you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like all of that mixed in, that part didn't sit right with me. But, that's Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I guess the police say they don't get paid to prevent crime. They get paid to react to it.
Right. And the thing was, it wasn't even that you ain't prevented it. You didn't even react to it. That's my whole thing. You ain't even do your job that you getting paid for. So, of course, you wouldn't have been able to prevent it unless you set it up or had the person, you know what I'm saying? You was on the person payroll. So, of course, you ain't going to be able to prevent it, but you ain't even react to it. You know what I'm saying? Even after the fact of the funeral or the all that, and you catch this person 2 months later, finna come back on the block and take care of some more people, you catch them with the murder weapon, and you still don't react and do your job. That's my whole thing. You still ain't react and do your job. When your job was put, when all your evidence and all your stuff was put right in front of you. But you gonna wait till the person gone and then say, oh, that was the person. So you got paid to do that after the fact, is what I ain't understand. Right. So
you had to deal with the Chicago police shenanigans, the Chicago newspaper shenanigans, because I learned that they were misquoting you, you know, throughout different articles, you know.
Yeah.
And along with just, you know, going through personal grief, you know, your family, you know, is your number one priority. You're a mom of 5, you know. So you lost 1 to the streets, but you got 4 more, right?
Yeah.
So walk us through, like, you know, how did we get from here or there, 10 years ago to right here, and now that you're able to tell us, you know, how did you make it here?
You know, after that with her, it kind of made me want to like get away from Illinois altogether. But you know, I just stayed focused because them other kids, I gotta stay on top of that for them. So I just stayed focused. Pretty much a lot of times I just threw myself into my job, like working extra hours, working 2-3 jobs. You know, I've been working on a book. I got a book coming out, so I've been working on that. I've been working on this podcast I got coming out called Mass. It's called Mothers Against the Street Struggle, kind of just for the mothers who struggling with their kids in the streets or done lost their kids to the streets. You know, so I pretty much like over time been just working on things for self and, you know, helping the family and stuff like that. But I just, you know, cause if I sit there and soak in it and weep and mourn all the time, it'll overwhelm me, it'll consume me. And I don't want to be consumed by that. You know, she's gone, I'm here. We all got a life to try to live. So I just put my focus into a lot of other positive things, you know, spend a lot of time with my kids and, you know what I'm saying, let them know I love them all the time, stuff like that, you know, our internet here and there, you know, stuff like that, interviews, stuff like that. I did an interview 2 or 3 months after that happened with her. I did an interview with Miss Queen.
Right.
I went to school with Miss Queen nephew. So I had got on Miss Queen and, you know, talked about it. I was still kind of shook up about it then, but, you know, I was able to get through. You
carried it well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that interview is actually what led me to reaching out to you. I had stumbled upon it kind of like on accident, literally just scrolling. And, I sat and watched it. And when I reached out to you, I could feel you over the phone. You on the phone like, man, how the this nigga get my number?
You see what I asked you? You talking about I put your number in? No.
Hold on,
How the fuck
hold on.
you get my number?
Like, hold on.
Because I had some other people contacting me about some other projects and shit too. And I'm like, oh, okay, now everybody finna be trying to call me. Nah, don't, you know, but yeah. It was I'm glad you reached out to me though. I appreciate it. I was already following you and stuff, so I had already did some background checking on you, you know. You know what I'm saying? Some of the YouTubers, some of them you just can't mess with, but you know what I'm saying? You're a pretty decent guy. You decent.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you decent. I you know what I'm saying? I even, you know what I'm saying, mention you to a couple of guys I know. They like, oh yeah, fuck with him. He cool. He cool. You are pretty good, even though, you know, you had, you know, butt on here and all that, Italian beef and all that. But you cool, you know what I'm saying? You're a pretty cool individual. So, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had no beef with you.
That's good. Okay, speaking of, buddy, you know, that is like our favorite guests at this point on the show.
Yeah.
I haven't interviewed anyone as much as I've interviewed FBG Butta, right? So he obviously brings up your daughter a lot. Most of the world believes that they are actually brother and sister because there's a picture of them and they look alike when you look at them, and as much as
they got a favor. They don't look alike, but they got a favor.
Right, and as much as he claimed her and he got K.I. tatted on his face, what's your thoughts on Butta?
Well, I'm here to let you know that is not her actual twin brother. No blood relation at all. Put the this from Chicago. Yeah, on there the sound effects. But but Butta, that's like my son though. That's like my son. You know what I'm saying? His OG. I know his OG. Been knowing them for years. You know what I'm saying? It's been times, I might have been hungry. Him and his OG done fed me, you know what I'm saying? Gave me money or something, just as a sister looking out for another sister, So I ain't really got no gripes with Butta. He funny as hell, But I ain't really got no gripes with him at all. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff I done seen him get interviewed about, I said my whole thing is like on a snitching thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you was gonna snitch anyway, why you ain't snitch in the beginning? You know what I'm saying? That's my whole thing. I don't care if you what they call, I don't care if you're a tattletale. I don't care. I done told on my folks too. It's gonna be me or you. Oh, it's gonna be you, because I'm finna tell. I'm not finna go to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's, some people tell shit and lies and all that shit every day. You know what I'm saying? But my whole thing is, if you was gonna tell all this shit you told just recently, not just on the blog, but to these people in court on this testify because of this other shit, why you just ain't say that from the, why you was playing stupid in the beginning, like you ain't know who it was, and okay, I understand you probably ain't want the after effect. Now motherfucker trying to get at you or whatever and all this and all that. Okay, that's understandable. Because if you feel for your life or something like that, you might not say nothing then. But my whole thing was like, dude, don't come out with all of this now. Finish keeping your mouth shut about the situation. But hey, that you know what I'm saying? Like I say, Butta, that's like a son to me. You know what I'm saying? He done slept in my crib. I done slept over their crib. You know what I'm saying? Him and K.I., they was tight. They was super tight. When G.I. went away for a little while, she clicked her and Butta clicked up. They was tight as hell. Like, that was like freaking frat. They used to get on my nerves so much. I was like, get y'all ugly ass up out of here. Like, I'm sick of y'all. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and then, his mama, you know what I'm saying? She definitely looked out for K.I. a lot. You know what I'm saying? All the time. That's like her daughter. You know what I'm saying? She looked out for my baby a lot. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing against none but love for them people, for Butta and his mama. I love them. His OG and Butta, I love them. You know what I'm saying? And then, because like I feel like a lot of times, Butta might have saved my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got nothing against the man. You know what I'm saying? I know that's one of your special guests. You know what I'm saying? I want him to come back. Finish his little, So I ain't got. He could come sit with me. He want to come sit with OG? He can come sit with OG. I ain't got nothing against him. But only thing I had to look right with him about was all that stuff. Motherfucker was putting out in the air after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Which you should have just been up front, like, because I feel like if he would have did all that snitching in the beginning, that probably would have saved a lot of people. Like, I think Doug probably would have still been here. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people I felt could have got saved if a lot of motherfuckers would have just came with the forefront. But motherfuckers holding shit in and like we had some, like motherfuckers was telling me when that happened with Cat, oh, we gonna do this, we finna drill, we finna do that. I used to tell them, don't drill. You know what I'm saying? I prayed, let God handle it. You know what I'm saying? Don't do no drilling, but the hood, they want to react. You know what I'm saying? I said, tell motherfuckers, just let it, let it be, So, I understand him not saying anything then because want the drill, and then, he was in fear for him and his family life too, because like I said, he got shot at the time too. I feel him not saying nothing, you know what I'm saying? But don't come with the whole stilo nasty, leave something to the imagination. Boy, don't get all the way naked. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? So, I ain't got no gripes against Butta. I love Butta.
Word.
I love Italian beef and Pepsi too. That's one of my favorites. I love butter. I love butter. But man, I love you, butter. For real. For real. Him and my daughter, they was like this. Like they was so much like this that everybody thought they was twins. They was blood. Everybody thought that. You know what I'm saying? And motherfucker, you know, bro, sis, everybody really, the whole entire world, United States, think that man is her twin, but he's actually not. He's not blood related, but he close. He like family. And him and my daughter, they was like freaking frat in them streets. They probably went on a lot of hits together. You know what I'm saying? But hey, I don't got nothing against the man. I don't judge him for nothing. But I do want him to stop speaking on GI like he crazy though, straight up. Just on the strength of everything, because he know if he was, you know, like that with KI and that's his twin and all that, why would you speak on this girl real twin negatively or say anything about, you know what I'm saying, whatever you saying, you know what I'm saying, it's internet shit all over. So just, you know what I'm saying, if he could just chill with that, because I don't want to make them enemies. You know what I'm saying? Well, he going to make them enemies, but, you know, I don't want them to be enemies because they came up together. You know what I'm saying? G.I. done hung with them too. You know what I'm saying? And rolled with them and all that. You know what I'm saying? So don't, you know what I'm saying, even if you ain't partaking and being his homie right now today and hollering at him on the phone, whatever, don't sneak this the man. You know what I'm saying? Because that is actually her real twin blood brother born 13 minutes apart. So don't do that part. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, Butta is all the love gets all the love in the world for me. I might go see him after this interview.
Yeah, because I was just finna tell you my next comment was gonna be I know for sure that Butta does have a real strong love for your daughter. Like, he loved K.I.
Yeah.
I haven't interviewed Butta in a while, but I just talked to him a couple days ago on the phone, and he said something that was kind of heartfelt. He said, man, I wish my sister could call me. I wish I could send her some money or write her a letter. Like I wish she was locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like on some shit like, you know, rather her being locked up than, you know. And but you know, when he said it, it kind of, you know, I felt that, you know what I'm saying, like, and so that'd be my reason for having these type of conversations in my interviews, because man, you never know what the next person going through, and we all going through something.
Right, and I know he fucked up behind that shit, because when it happened, he was with her. You know what I'm saying? So I know that shit fucked him up. You know what I'm saying? I know, and like I said, they were like freaking friends. So, you know, like losing somebody close and then you in the mix of it, you know what I'm saying? I know that, you know, I know that affected him. You know what I'm saying? Praises out to him for him being strong. Cause yeah, I know that fucked him up a little bit. Yep.
Well, that's what's up. Well, look, Mama K.I., we ain't gonna hold you too much longer, you know. You shared with us enough. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. You see what I'm saying? Cause I love what I do, you know. So nowadays I be grateful when people show up and assist me with doing what I do.
No problem. Anytime.
Any shout outs or closing remarks?
Nope, just be on the lookout for my book coming this year. And my podcast, Mothers Against the Street Struggle, it's going to be bi-weekly. I'm going to have some of the mothers from the area that lost their kids, like Mama Doug, Mama Tuka, you know, a few more others that I, you know, went to school with, lost their children, you know what I'm saying, to the streets. So, you know, it's called MASS, M-A-S-S, Mothers Against the Street Struggle, because I want us to go back to the old days where they say it takes a village to raise a child. But see, all the villages are broken now. So, you know, because like when I was coming up, the neighbor whooped my ass, the teacher whooped my ass, everybody, you know what I'm saying? But now you can't touch these people's kids, because, you know, everybody going to come out with a gun. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lot of senseless stuff going on with the streets and the youth. And, you know, not just in Chicago, but around the world. You know, I want to make some type of impact, you know, if it don't reach one teen or, you know what I'm saying, somebody to say, man, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be a part of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want my family to bury me. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize, and nobody realizes how hard it affects you standing over that little one in a casket. And for what? Because somebody ain't like you because you was with this person, or you with these people, or you from this block, or you from this area. You know what I'm saying? It just shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that.
For sure, for sure. And in closing, is there a message you could leave for the young ladies that's growing up in the streets? She might be a teen mom, or she might have a child that's out in the streets and she don't know how to really, deal with it. What's the message you could leave to that woman?
I'll tell try and reach out and get all the resources you can. Keep your head up though, don't abandon your child. Even if your children doing this and that, if you know your child doing something and you're not able to intervene, see if you can get some type of authority figure or just somebody to intervene where, they don't have to choose, the streets as an option. Even though they probably going through something at school and, because nowadays these kids can't even go to school. It's just all bad. But just keep your head up, stay strong. And one thing for sure, don't give up on your child no matter what.
For sure that. Well, there you have it. I think we just composed a classic. So I want to say thank you to Mama K.I. Shout out to Word T Productions. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And shop with Lil Bro at Animosity Speaks, AMSTY Speaks.com.
DJ, you go crazy.